Good morning, students. So, in the previous class, we have discussed about the effect of up to effect of change of pressure. Today, we are going to discuss about evaporation. Okay. So, let's see what is evaporation with an example. Okay. Like suppose I asked you, I gave you one boil of a bowl of water, and I asked you to keep it in a room and close the room. Okay, so and I asked you to observe the change after 3 days. Okay, so what you will observe after 3 days, that the level of water is decreased, it is not same as the previous one. Okay, so why the level of water is reduced? Have you ever thought that? The reason is very simple. The level of water is reducing because the water is vaporizing. The water is vaporizing. Okay, that's why the level of water is changing. Okay, and what one thing you notice, that I didn't ask you to boil the water, but still the water is vaporizing. That means the process was happening at room temperature. That means 33 degrees Celsius, and that temperature is very less than the boiling point. That means what? Evaporation happens at below the boiling point. Evaporation happens below the evaporation can happen below the boiling point. Okay, so what is basically evaporation? We can understand with the overall from this example that 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 it is a process of conversion of liquid vapors at any given temperature below its boiling point. Okay, at any temperature the evaporation can happen, and even it below its boiling point. And this process of conversion of water liquid to vapors at any temperature below its boiling point is called as evaporation. Okay, now this don't mix this evaporation with the boiling process. Both are different. How it is different from boiling? Okay, very simple. This evaporation doesn't require, okay, doesn't require any external heat, whereas boiling requires external heat. If I am asking you to boil the water, immediately you will go to and switch on the stove, and you will what heat it, and that means what? You have to supply heat from outside, then only the boiling can happen. But for evaporation, you don't have to apply extra heat from manually. That means overall we can say that evaporation is a natural process, whereas boiling is a manual process. Okay, second thing is that water will boil at 100 degrees Celsius only. Below that, above that, it will not boil. So that means boiling occurs at a particular temperature, whereas evaporation doesn't have any that particular. I gave you the example of room. I asked you to keep the what it is there, to keep the bowl in the room temperature, and at that only also it started evaporizing. That means what? It is happening at any temperature, isn't that? And second is that the boiling can happen quickly, whereas evaporation doesn't happens quickly. It is a slow process. Okay, and when we are boiling any substance, what we can see that uh, that uh, that it takes place throughout the liquid. That means it is a bulk process, whereas evaporation happens only at a surface. Evaporation can happen only from the only happens at the surface of the liquid. Okay, and one more important thing is that during the boiling point of the liquid, the temperature becomes constant, whereas in the case of evaporation, it's not like that. At evaporation, the temperature may change. Okay, this was the difference between what evaporation and boiling. Now let's see what are the factors which are affecting evaporation. Okay, when we are talking about the factors affecting evaporation, one by one we will see an example. Okay, first what I did, I am giving an example that since it is a rainy season, we can't dry our clothes outside. Okay, so what happened? Two sisters there were there, Sita and Geeta. So Sita, what she did, she washed the clothes and she folded it in hand and hanged. Okay, whereas Geeta, what she did, she spread the wet clothes and left it for drying. So what you will observe that Geeta's clothes dry faster in comparison to Sita. Why so? It's a normal logic, because you will say that madam, she has spread the clothes and then left for drying, isn't that? So why we are spreading the clothes? We are spreading the clothes because the spreading the after spreading the clothes, it increases its surface area. Okay, so its surface area increases, that means that clothes are drying faster, that means water is evaporating faster, that means the surface area, with the increase in the surface area, evaporation increases. Okay, let's see another example. Okay, in summer season we can see that our clothes are drying faster. Why so? Because in summer season temperature is high, that's why our clothes are drying faster. Okay, clear? Then summer season, la sun energy is coming, and that energy is given to the water particles. They gain energy and they start moving fast, and they will convert into gas easily. Okay, and one more example is there. When it is humid, when you can see that it nowadays, since rainy season is there, and also a very cloudy season is also there, that means humid climate is there. In that condition also, the clothes doesn't dry faster. Okay, why is it so? Because that in that condition, humid climate, humid means water content in the atmosphere. So if the water content is very much in the atmosphere, so what will happen? It will not take extra water. That's why evaporation process will become slow. So with the increase in humidity, evaporation will become less. Okay, and the last it is the wind speed. I will give you an example that when your clothes are not drying faster in rainy season, what you will do, you will place it below the ceiling fan and switch on the ceiling fan, and then the clothes will dry faster. Why? Because from the ceiling fan, the air is coming in very high speed, and that air with the high speed will strike with the water present in the clothes, and uh, give the energy to them, and that water particles, after gaining energy, convert into vapors and escape out, and so our clothes will dry faster, indicating that with the increase in the speed of the air, evaporation increase. That's why we say that more is the wind speed, more is the rate of evaporation. Okay, clear? This was about the evaporation and factors affecting evaporation, and next topic we will see in the next class. Thank you.